Welcome to my channel. Today we are exploring real haunted locations. And I am going to tell you about a place that may just be the gateway to hell itself. If you like spooky stories and maybe learning something new about another culture, then stay tuned for today's scary tale. This is the legend of the Devil's Bell, also known as Venice na Hausi, which translates to Bell Tower of Houska. The story takes place at Houska Castle in the Czech Republic. It was first mentioned in writing in 1278 AD, when it was used as a lookout tower against invading armies from Germany. It was made during a time when it was common to build castle towers directly on top of old burial grounds. Locals say it was built on an old Celtic burial ground, while others claim it was constructed on top of a Jewish cemetery. Regardless, some believe that the castle sits on a natural energy vortex, drawing negative energy from the earth. In 1350, the castle was purchased by the Wenceslaus of Zdar, who wanted to turn the structure into a luxurious palace. Over the years, the castle changed hands until it came under the control of the Berke family. In 1645, Wilhelm von Berke had the bell tower rebuilt. Legend says he had seen a vision of a beautiful woman who instructed him to rebuild the tower, promising it would bring him unimaginable wealth and power. After its completion, Wilhelm's wish was granted. He became incredibly wealthy and powerful, and many began to speculate that he made a deal with the devil to get what he wanted. Some say Wilhelm didn't complete the transaction and was ultimately rejected by Satan. Others claim that he paid the price, and the Devil's Bell was the result. During the Hussite Revolution of 1419, the castle was seized by rebels, but it was recaptured 3 years later. In 1421, Jan Jiskra raised an army of 20,000 men and laid siege to the castle. But despite being outnumbered, the defenders won the battle, and the castle was spared. Though damaged, the castle continued to be used throughout the years, and in 1850 it was restored. It now stands as a museum open to the public, but many are reluctant to enter. This is because the legend of the bell tower still lives on through the local villagers. They fear that the castle is cursed, and that any who enter are at risk of having their souls taken by Satan himself. The legend goes that while the castle stood abandoned and in ruins, a group of ghost hunters decided to explore the decaying structure. While recording audio equipment outside the ruined castle, they heard the sound of a bell ringing from inside. To them, it sounded like the slow toll of a medieval funeral bell. As the sun set, one of the team members felt compelled to walk toward the castle. He struggled against the urge as they recorded audio of the forest surrounding the castle. Suddenly, they heard the bell toll again. No one wanted to go near the building, so they started to leave. That's when one of the team members began to sleepwalk toward the castle. As he got closer, he began speaking in Latin, but when they asked him about it later, he couldn't remember doing it. Each night, a different team member would be drawn to the castle and compelled to walk up to the sealed gate. They all whispered in Latin, and no one could break the strange spell placed upon them. Finally, after 5 days, the bell rang again, but something was different. When the team arrived, they found that the grate over the well had been pried open, and one of their members was missing. They searched the area and eventually found him miles away in a cave. He was unable to speak, and when they examined his clothes, they were covered in ash. His leather boots were completely burnt, as though he walked through fire. They never learned what happened to him or why he was taken, but they never returned to the castle, and neither has anyone else. While there is no physical evidence to support the legend, there are historical documents dating back centuries that mention strange occurrences in the castle. Before it was open to the public, park rangers reported hearing screams and disembodied voices echoing throughout the castle. There are countless stories of strange lights and apparitions seen within the castle walls. Many of these sightings have been caught on security cameras, but the footage is almost always corrupted and can't be viewed. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence comes from the castle's former caretaker. He worked at the castle for years and claimed that strange things happened every day. One evening he was closing the gates to the courtyard when he saw a ghostly procession approaching. There were men, women, and children, all dressed in clothing from the Middle Ages. They walked right through the gates and disappeared. He later saw the same figures in the windows of the castle, but when he looked closer, he realized they weren't actually there. He also reported seeing shadowy figures standing at the edge of the forest, watching him work. Then they would disappear. One night he was awakened in his home, next to the castle, by screams. He went to investigate and found two girls sitting on the stairs, leading to the front door. They were crying, and when he asked them what was wrong, they told him they had come from the castle to warn him not to go there. They said there was a terrible monster living in the castle, and that it was dangerous to go inside. The caretaker didn't listen, and the next day he found strange symbols carved into the door of his home. He became so frightened he quit his job. These stories only add to the growing list of strange events that have been associated with the castle for hundreds of years. So could it really be the gateway to hell? In reality, it was probably a well used for disposing of waste or human remains. The legend of the Devil's Bell draws from people's fears of the unknown. We've always been fascinated by the idea of hell, and stories of portals to it have been told throughout history. The legends say that those who approach the castle are put under a spell, and those who accept it will be taken to hell. Maybe that's what happened to the man who disappeared. Perhaps he wasn't taken by the devil, but rather accidentally fell into the ancient pit and was burned alive. Or maybe he did make it to hell, and those who enter the castle are given a choice. You can either choose to resist the call of the castle and escape with your life, or accept the call and face whatever fate awaits you. That's all for this week's video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Also, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. We'd love to have it if you did. Let us know in the comments below if you think the castle is really the gateway to hell, or if there is a more logical explanation for the strange activity. Either way, I'll see you all next time. Bye.
And if you're seeking an inspiring and enlightened health journey, don't miss out on any information. Subscribe now to the Natural Healing Spring channel to join our growing family, and activate the notification bell to be the first to watch our new videos. If you found light and benefit in this content, please don't hesitate to like and share it with everyone you care about. Your support is our fuel to continue providing you with more of nature's healing secrets. Together, we make a real difference in the world of health and wellness.